Hello and welcome to Cloud Solutions Tech. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create roles in Jenkins. So for this, we'll go to Manage Jenkins, and then now right here, we'll go to this place, Manage and Assign Roles. So in here now, we want to create a role. But first of all, what is a role, right? So a role is basically something that defines permission. So in this case, we have a role which is admin. The admin role has the capability to do everything. So in our case now, let's say we just want to create a read-only role. So if I want to create a read-only role, I'll just, in this box, I'll just say read only, and then I'll say add. So now we see I have a new role called read only, right? So now the next thing is which permissions do I want this role to have, right? So for this, I only want this role to have a read only permission. So for this role, I don't want this role to be able to administer anything, maybe like creating or deleting or updating anything, right? I don't want that. I just want a read only role. So here, right here, you see under overall, you click on this one. And then the good thing about this is that whichever role you want to select, once you click on it, it's going to tell you what that role is doing. You see, whichever one you click on is going to tell you what that role is doing. So you know what role that you are giving to that particular, user, or the role that you are creating. You know what type of roles you are giving to it. So this is a very good one right here. So for this one, I just want only a read only. Just read only. I don't want this role to be able to administer, do any other thing, create job, update job, delete job. So if you want other permissions, you can add it. But for this example, I'm just doing a read only. Remember that in the last video, those two users will try to log in, but they didn't have access to do anything. So once you are done, you just click on this save button right there. You click on save, and then you have saved the role. So the next step now is to assign the role to the user, or whichever user you want to assign the role to. So still under manage and assign roles, we just come here to this next line, assign roles. We click on this place. Now, if you look at this place, we have a new role called read only. Prior to now, in your case, you should only have admin once you create that. So the more roles you create, you'll be seeing them pop up here. So what I want to show you now is how to assign the role that we created to a particular user. So basically what we're trying to say is we need to attach a role to a user in order for that user to have the permission to be able to do a certain function, to be able to perform a particular task on your Jenkins server. So to quickly give you an example, remember we created two users the other time, right? One user called Nathaniel and the other user called Mike. So let me just quickly show you again. You see, access denied because it does not have any role to perform this function. All right, so let me log out. Once we finish setting up the role, we'll come back. So the example I just showed you now, what does that mean? Even though we have created that role, right, the read-only role, the user, Nathaniel, was still not able to have access to view or see anything going on in our Jenkins dashboard. So which means even if after creating a role, if you have not assigned that role to a particular user, then the user cannot perform that particular function. Right. So now in these assigned roles now, right? So what we have to do now, you see, you can give a role to a group, and whoever you put in that group, they will automatically assume that role and they'll be able to perform that function. So but now we are assigning a role directly to a user. So let's click on add user. All right. So here, let's put that user here, Nathaniel. All right, and then we say okay. So now you see we have a user called Nathaniel now here, right? So what role are we assigning to this user? We want to assign the read only to Nathaniel. We click on this place. And then once you click on it, that's all you have to do. You save. Now, let's go back to that tab again. Let's put in Nathaniel. So we should not have that error again now after assigning a role to this user. All right, pretty cool. You see, so now the user before was not able to view, to see all these things, but now because we assigned a read-only role to this user, is able to see all this. But now, guess what? It can still perform everything. All we have given to him right now is just read-only, right? So it's just a little bit of permission. So it still can't do anything because we haven't allowed that yet. So we click on dashboard, nothing is coming up. We can't see jobs. If we click on build history, it's not able to see build history. So even the role that we have assigned to this user right now is still limited. So there's a limit to what this user can perform at the moment. But the good thing is that the user is not having the access denied error anymore, but it still have limited access. But if we go back to our other page, which is the admin page right here, we go back to dashboard, we can see the jobs, we can see build history, we can see we can see different information because the admin user have the access to be able to perform all these functions. But this other user can't see all these things is because we have not allowed it yet. So we are giving this user Nathaniel a limited permission. So if we want to allow this user Nathaniel to view all the jobs that we have, so let's go back to the admin page. So we'll come back here, manage Jenkins, and then come back to manage and assign roles. So remember that this role, what we did before is read only, right? So now we need to modify this read only role, right? So what we are going to do now is we will now assign another role to this group and say we want to allow the users to be able to read jobs. You see what it says here? It says permission job / read, and the role that we have assigned is read only. So we click on that. So whatever you want that particular role to be able to do, you just select it, but make sure you read, understand what the role is before you assign that role to that user. If you look at it, this role now, this read only now has two permissions. Under overall, it has one permission, and under jobs, it has another one permission, which is read as well. You understand? So it already give you a summary of what it does. So just make sure before you give any role you don't understand exactly, just put your cursor on it like this to know what exactly that role is doing before you assign it. So let's click on save. All right, so what have we just done now? What we have just done is that we modified the read-only role that we created before. And then remember that, once that role is modified, right, the user that is associated with this role immediately assume that role. You understand? So we don't have to go back again to that user to go and edit anything there again. You understand? So if we go back to that other browser now and refresh this browser, you see what we have? Now the user is able to see the jobs here now, which the user was not able to do before. So if you look at this user now, the user can view, but he cannot perform any action. If you look at right here, he cannot even build this job because he does not have the access to do that. He can't delete, he can't configure, he can't do anything. Just like on the other page that we have manage Jenkins, he does not have that permission to do that. So by now, you already know how to create a user, how to create a role, how to create a read-only role with certain permission, and how to associate that role to a certain user in order to allow certain, permissions to that particular user. So that will be it for this video. So in the next video, I'll be showing you how to create another role and assign that role to a user, and then also you will learn how to restrict jobs using project-based role. See you in the next lesson.